Hi, Rob Sago with Remax Platinum, and I'm here with Arez Shimoni of NJ Lenders.
Hey Rob, how you doing?
Very good, Arez. Thanks for joining. We are actually going to be doing a series of different mortgage types to give you some informational content on just going through the process and maybe clearing up some questions that you may have. Hope you enjoy. Perez, one of the biggest questions I get a lot from my clients are closing costs, exactly what they are, what it consists of. Can you get into that a little bit?
Sure. So I like to tell the buyer that closing costs consists of hard costs and prepaid items and just upfront costs.
Okay.
So hard costs would be considered an application fee, appraisal, credit report. And when you have third-party fees, you have title insurance, what the attorney's going to charge you, recording fees. Those are all the hard costs. So
Okay.
I always tell the buyer, regardless of your purchase price and loan amount, most of those costs are fixed costs. So on average, let's say a $300,000 purchase price, you're probably at least about $5,000 with all the hard costs,
Okay.
right? And then you have your prepaid. So let's say that the property taxes are $1,000 a month. The lender's going to take 2 to 3 months of your taxes up front to start the escrow account.
Right.
And then the attorney will either collect for next quarter taxes, which is another 3 months of taxes, or if the seller had already paid the property taxes for that next quarter, the attorney actually will reimburse the seller back a prorated amount per day
Okay.
when the new buyer takes possession. So when I deal with a client, I usually tell them 5 months of taxes up front will cover what you will owe the seller potentially,
Okay.
or next quarter taxes,
Right.
plus what we're going to actually collect.
Okay.
And then you have your 1 year's home insurance policy, which is average $1,000.
Right.
And then sometimes we'll escrow a couple months of that.
Gotcha.
So when you look at it, you're probably at least you're probably 11 to 12,000 even for a $300,000 property.
Gotcha.
And that's not with anything extra. Those are your basic costs. So
Right.
off the bat, even if it's a 250 property and taxes are 7,000 to 8,000, closing costs are at least between 8,000 and 10,000.
Right.
With all in. So
Okay.
sometimes buyers are surprised how much closing costs are
Right.
on a smaller property, but I always tell them, a lot of it's fixed costs, regardless
Fixed
of
costs.
what
You
you
really,
do.
you really can't do much about it. That's what the costs are.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
cost is the cost. So you have your
Exactly.
hard costs and then you have upfront costs because you're starting a loan.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how closing costs overall work.
Perfect. Thank you so much for explaining that.
You're welcome.
I know this was a lot of information to take in, but if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to help. Thanks.